guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Bad Cube OTS-04 Warrior Wardog. Basically, the third figure under the Bad Cube brand. The first one in the Old Timer series was still under the Cube X line. But Wardog here is kind of their representation of kind of a masterpiece warpath. For the package, though, you can see very similar look to what we got with Brawny and Backlund with the two-tone kind of image there. Got Warrior Wardog, you got the Bad Cube come around here to the back. You got an image here of both his tank mode as well as his robot mode. And then a little bit of a tech spec thing right here saying that his strength is 9, intelligence a 5, speed is obviously a 2, and then a lot of other warnings and things of that nature. And then down here, a bit of a read-up that says, hitting your target means more than any strategy. Wardog thinks he is the cream of the crop among his brethren, always showing off his deadly marksmanship with his cannon. In tank form, he is able to shoot various types of piercing ammunition for different combat scenarios. Popular among the group, his boisterous, flamboyant, loud, and suffers from RTS, Robotic Tourette Syndrome. Kablam, zing, pow! Obviously a real nice homage to the actual Warpath character, so really very nice, but for the packaging, that's about it for him. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Wardog opened up and out of his packaging. And in addition to the figure, there's a few other things that you get in the package. First up, you get 2 collector cards. One that has a very kind of Takara Tomy masterpiece look, which I do appreciate. You got a cool image here of Wardog. Then around the back, again, a very similar masterpiece sort of look. And then you get this other collector card that is a little bit more stylized and unique to Bad Cube, I guess. But you have that, and then on the back as well, you got that same read-up that was actually on the package. So I like that. It's unique, and it's cool to see that they kind of included both of these. You also do get a bit of a poster. It folds out lengthwise, so you get a really cool image of Wardog right there in a very comic book sort of look. You got Bad Cube down there. But overall, I really dig that. I think that's a nice addition as well. And then you get the instructions, and I do like the instructions. They do a really good job here of explaining things and how to transform him, because he is a fairly complex transformer. But what I like is they also go into some of the reasoning why they decided to make him number 1, a tank that looks like this, and why he's bulky as well. So it says, from the original show and toy reference, we chose this form of tank, of course you know which tank this is, to be Wardog's vehicle mode because it is more accurate, and for better transformation some details were modified from the actual tank. And then you get a full kind of 360 look here. And then robot mode, it says, in the original show, Wardog appears to be leaner in robot form, but still able to turn into a hefty armor tank. Since there's no magic spell to make the mass disappear in robot form and reappear in tank form, this is our take on Wardog, a robust robot with girth. And I like that. It nicely explains it, but you do have that, and then the actual instructions, and I do like them. I think the instructions are really very nicely done, and the fact that you see what the action it is that they want you to do, and then how it looks after the fact. You got something like that. You got this where you're moving this little panel. That's what it's going to look like. One thing that I do want to touch on as well is there's a whole secondary section here in the back that really focuses on the shoulders, and this is a really sophisticated design. And I like that they included this because this shows you real up close how to do it. I'm going to try my best to show it to you guys and go as slow as possible, but you also got some concept art right there, which has a couple different looks for actually a Wardog, which I do dig. And then here on the back you have another concept image of him, and then just the full-on guy right there. So I do like these extra bits that they add in. Just kind of rounds things out and gives you a much better package. Now for tank mode, this is what you have. It does look a little bit different. He's got a little bit shorter of a actual turret, but there are tanks that have that, so it doesn't bother me all that much. And honestly, Warpath had a similar look to that as well, so I do like it. People have commented that he doesn't have actually any rolling tires. As you can see, the plastic treads are all molded in there, but there's no little actual wheels to allow you to roll them. That's kind of a sticking point for some people. Some think that they should actually have it. Some say that not having the wheels on there make it less of a toy. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see, I mean, other than maybe putting them here and like here, I don't necessarily think that they could have gotten wheels in there, although it's possible, but honestly, I don't wheel my stuff around, so it doesn't bother me all that much. So their decision to not include it, and subsequently some people's complaints that it's not included, I think is a little bit silly, I guess. Would it have been nice? Sure, but it doesn't just completely ruin the figure for me. I like the little subtle details in terms of the paint. You got some silver bits right there. You got this cockpit area with some black paint on there. You got some nice black paint here around the top section here, and then very similar to how Warpath actually looked. He had this whole kind of maroon color, and then in the back section here, he had this gray piece, and I love that. I love how that's something that they actually carry through here in vehicle mode. You can see that I am rotating the turret. It does rotate 360 degrees. This section here does pivot up and down a little bit, not a heck of a lot, but you do have a little bit of range of motion there. But all in all, some really nice detail. You got the rivets throughout, and then some nice detail like with the hatches, and then you got some extra little bits that I don't know what any of it is, but they're the parts of a tank. So that's really about it. Now for some size comparisons, and up first we have them next to the original CubeX Huff, so you can get a kind of an idea of where Bad Cube has gone with their particular figure since their very first one. And then obviously here is Masterpiece Bumblebee, and I just brought these in because these were mini bots in the original series, so I wanted to kind of show you how it basically looks now. Obviously, Wardog is as a tank pretty big. I mean, you can see just how much larger he gets than a small Volkswagen. Now, some people might complain that this is probably still too small, but I think overall it works pretty good. And then again, for Huff, I'm happy with how it looks. And for some more comparisons, here you have Wardog next to Bad Cube's Brawny, as well as Masterpiece Sideswipe. So again, you're getting a good look at how Wardog kind of scales with the rest of Masterpiece sort of scale figures. Taking a look first here at Brawny, obviously, again, big size difference here, but I think it works. I do like it. And then when you look at the comparisons to the new Masterpiece car Autobots, that's what you look like. And I think it works. It's definitely not real life scale, but I think it works pretty good in terms of representing the cartoon. And finally, here we have him next to MP10 Optimus Prime. And again, this being the largest of the Masterpiece figures that we got currently, and also being kind of the largest vehicle just in general, this is the scale that you're looking at. And again, for me, it's probably not all that real life accurate, but the actual cartoon representation I think is there. Now, to get him into his robot form, it's actually a fairly challenging transformation, but I really feel it's actually pretty satisfying once you're done. Now, to start things off, you come around here to the bottom. This is a bit of a skid plate kind of thing, and they've talked about this on the boards, and people are kind of divided on it. This is parts forming. I don't really think it is. To me, this is just weapon storage. First, what you want to do, kind of separate this like that, and then just pull this out. It tabs up underneath there, and pull that out just like so. We'll touch on this here in a little bit, but you have his gun right here, and then you have a blast shield. But like I said, we'll cover that when we get to the robot form. Then with this, come around here to the back, you're going to detach these bits right along the side here. This is kind of tricky to do, but again, you just pull this out. I kind of pulled a whole bunch of extra stuff out. Lift this, kind of detach that. Take these sections here. They're going to fold down, kind of flex those out, flex that out, and then just kind of angle that, get those out of the way. You can then take this section here along the side, detach this just like so, and then pull this out, get these out of the way. We're just going to flop them up there, just putting them off to the side. We'll worry about those here in a little bit. Then come around here, you got this. Again, lift this up, kind of get this out of the way. This section right here detaches a little bit, detach this a little, and then this is going to pull out just like so. This whole section right here, this will also tab in right here, so this kind of already came loose. This section here you want to just lift, tabs in there very securely, and then you can separate the legs. You also come around here to the bottom. You can see basically it's just exploding, but it actually really comes back together fairly nicely. Now you have these little pieces right here that are tabbed in. These are going to become his thighs. You just separate that and pull those both out just like so. Then you're going to rotate that, then rotate, get this up, and then rotate. What's it getting caught on? Oh, there we go. You rotate this right around here. There is no mistaking that stuff gets in the way, and I'm probably not rotating that very well right there, but get that. There we go. Get that rotated. Get that out of the way. There we go. Then just rotate that all the way around like so. We're going to try that again here. So we got this. And then take this, rotate this around like so. Keep these straightened out. Kind of fold that just like that. Take this section right here. You see how it's extended out. You're going to collapse this down. Bring this down. Get these legs down here. And again, collapse this section in on itself just like so. Take these sections. This is going to come down and lock into place. Here in the front, you got this little section right here. You can see where it tabs in right there and secures right in that section right there. Take this little bit right here. This is going to fold down and inside. There we go. Just like that. Do that here. Tuck that underneath right there. That's going to give you full range of motion here in the knee. Kind of rotate these around. This little section here, you're going to just tuck these in and then rotate these up in, and they collapse in. Take this section, fold this in just like so. This was already folded in, so it's easy. Bring this down, collapse that. Basically here you have his legs. You're going to rotate these down to this front section right about there. And then we're going to get to some of the exciting, more challenging parts. Straighten this out just like that. Take this section here, you're going to fold this up, and you're going to fold this up and over. Now you got this little section right here. You got two little prongs right there. They're going to swing down and hook right there. You have to put that in first, otherwise this section won't come across here and tab down. So just bring that in, grab that there, kind of angle that down, push that in, that locks it into place. This section right here, we're going to detach this, rotate this whole section around this, kind of folds in. Kind of get this out of the way. What do we got going on here? There you go. Come on, get that. There we go. Rotate that around just like so. Kind of leave this here for right now. Now this part, well, this part's actually pretty easy. The arms are the most challenging. So first, take this. You're going to split this just like so. This accordion's out like so, and then take this, rotate this around. That reveals his head, and you can see a little tiny tab right there that's going to fit into that hole right there. So you just fold that in, put that down, lock that into place. Now this part can be a little bit tricky, I suppose. What you need to do, as you can see, this, let me get this extended and out of the way. When you have it like this little red piece right here kind of gets in the way. You need to keep this like so in order to fold this up and under. Now getting these arms segments out of the way, you need to accordion this down. See, like if you have it where that's sticking out like that, I'm talking about this piece right there. This won't come down, this can't fold in and collapse in. You need to make sure that that's all the way in, and then on the underside you can see this little tab right here is going to come up, and it's going to tab underneath and tab into those little slots right there. So you bring this around, keep that up, accordion this in, that locks into place. Do that in this side as well. So you're accordioning this, and these are a little bit, I don't want to say floppy, but they just kind of rest in there. They don't need to tab in as securely because the outside is going to get all locked together nicely. So getting that in there, and it's kind of hard to see that tab underneath. There we go. And you're going to have it basically like that. That's how the back section is going to look. And then you can actually bring these pieces up, get these out of the way, bring these pieces up, and we're going to attach these. But first, what you need to do, and this part is actually the trickiest part on this entire thing. First, we're going to take these arms. You have to pull up here, just like so, and then detach this, and then you extend the arm forward just like so. You can take this, rotate this around. Do that on this side as well. Again, this part is probably the trickiest part on this entire transformation. Lift this, and by that I mean the arms. So we're going to detach that. This shifts up. It's really very tight. That shifts, there you go, and then you extend that out just like so. Now with the shoulders, this is the absolute most complicated part on this, and I'm going to do my best to show it to you. First, what you want to do is slide this section in just like so. Kind of get this out of the way so you can see it, and I'm going to rotate this. You got this whole assembly right inside there. Coming in and actually making it a little bit brighter so that you can see that. This is the way that the assembly actually normally is. You have to take this and pull this out, and then these are on a bit of a ratchet joint, so you have to kind of flex those, and hopefully you guys are able to see this. Keep this all the way up, kind of keep this bent, and you have to accordion this. Then you want to shimmy up a little bit. The whole black section goes up a little, and then you see that little knob right there. You need to rotate that around and position that, the whole black section on top of that. Then you get it to actually collapse down on itself. So you shimmy that down, and that locks that into place, and then you slide that back, and that keeps that whole shoulder actually secured. Really fairly complicated, and actually going back into the tank mode is a little bit more difficult. So again, trying to show that as best as I can here on this part. Again, you see the black section. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the camera. You got the black section right in there. This whole section, well, let's see, hold on. Make sure that's all the way down. Get this over, and then you just pull this whole section out. And while I'm pulling on this, I'd like to compliment Bad Cube on the amount of quality that's actually in this plastic. I mean, I'm being fairly forceful with this, and you almost kind of have to wedge this out, and nothing feels like it's going to break. Everything feels very sturdy and very, very secure. So getting that, got that out, then you gotta wedge this section. So again, now we're going to slide this bit forward, and then you angle this back. You can see how it kind of bends here, and that's really stiff, and it's tough to actually get it. And then you shimmy that up just like so. There we go, getting it to go over that section, then move that back. Did I get it down? There we go. Okay, so then when you slip this section over, that little gray piece now locks over there, and you have it. That's, like I said, that's really rough. It's definitely a complex set of movements that you have to do that, like I said, some people will say that it is a little bit too complex, and it might be, but I think it still works fairly well. So once you get that, you can bring this over. You're going to rotate this around, and then you got a couple of little notches right here. You got a knot section right up on the inside, right up in there. Let me come back a little bit for you. And then you got little tabs here and here. So you're just bringing these in, lining that up, putting that there, and then actually take this section and push this in just like that. This whole section right here, you can see, is actually on a little bit of a collapsing joint. So you're securing that in there by pushing that in. So then you rotate this around. Again, get these arms out of the way so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Put that right in there. Line those tabs up. There we go, just like that. And then you push this whole section in, locks it into place. Keep those up like that. You rotate his arms around. I collapsed his arms some, straighten those out. Just like that. Like so. These little bits right here, they can actually collapse up kind of along the back section here. That's how you're positioning those just like that. Then let me keep that right there. There we go. And this whole back section right here, you rotate this around, this goes up, and then these pieces actually come up under here, and then right on the inside of this section with the dark gray plastic, there are some little notches. You just put that right in there, bring this over, extend this up, and then this pushes down right there, just like so, straightening out his arms, straightening out his feet, collapsing his feet down so that they actually look pretty good. Get that positioned there, there, and there, and keep that rotated up there. And let's see what we have here. What's up? You have to extend these are actually on little hinges. They fold down like that, so straighten that out, and there you have Wardog in his robot mode. And as you can see, through that entire process, what's left is a really solid looking representation of Warpath. I really do feel that Badcube did a great job of recreating kind of the essence of the character, despite obviously having some limitations such as physics. I mean, yeah, he's a bulky, really massive looking toy, but all in all, I think that they did a great job here with Wardog. Now, for his accessories, you can see that he does come with this gun. He also does come with this shield. Now, you can take this shield, you see the little handle kind of thing right here. The hand opens up right here at the fingers. It's a little bit tough. Let me bring in a little wedge sort of device. Very stiff joints there. So you open that up, and you can bring this in, kind of collapse that in his hand. There's a little groove section right there, and then you got the little tabs right there, so you kind of have to wedge that in there to get him to hold it. But that's a solid look for the guy, and really does kind of give a SWAT sort of feel. Same kind of thing here with the gun. He's got this really bulky looking weapon to it. I really dig it. Very shotgun look kind of thing to it. So again, opening that up and then taking these, that is, I mean, really is a very cool look for the guy. That just says powerful. Now, while I'm not a huge fan of the shield gimmick, I guess, I mean, it works pretty good and it's integrated nicely. I think that it's just the fact that he has a gun is kind of funny because he's got this big giant cannon in his chest. But it's cool. I mean, I really do like it. Now, you can take this and you can store this. You can fold this up like so. You can collapse this in like that, and then you can bring this around here, and honestly, I don't even really pay much attention to how this actually looks, but you can clip that on the back like so. I'm detaching the whole thing in the process, kind of. So you can clip that on there for his weapon storage. I don't mind the backpack really all that much. It's just kind of a place for it, but you can see that it kind of makes everything else kind of come undone when you're trying to take it off. Again, weapon storage, which I appreciate and I think is very important with transforming toys nowadays. Everybody likes having weapon storage, so you do have it with them, and you can see that with the backpack on there, it kind of gives them like this militaristic kind of look, I guess, but for me, it's perfectly fine just like this. Now, for his articulation, the head is on this two-joint kind of swivel. It swivels left and right, and then it angles up and down, and the head sculpt is actually really very good. It is unmistakable that is Warpath. It looks really very nice. The that kind of detached a little. The shoulders here are on ball joints, so you can rotate that up, down, in and out. You get a nice range of motion there. The elbows here do bend, keeping them fully extended. They do bend at about 90 degrees right there. They also rotate at the elbow, so you get a decent range of motion there. These little bits right here do kind of get in the way, especially with the tire and this top section here, so it can get a little bit clustered, but it's not really all that bad. I mean, you do get a full range of motion with it. The wrists do rotate all the way around. The fingers are articulated just right here. They're all attached, so you do get like that kind of motion, lifting these arms up. He does rotate here at the waist on some pretty nice soft ratchet joints. You got nice clickety joints moving forward and back, in and out. There's a slight soft ratchet joint there. They also rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He bends here at nice ratchet joints at the knee, and then the foot's got a lot of articulation in there to kind of get some good poses. You can extend this all the way out if you want to make him a little bit taller, but it kind of looks ugly. I like keeping it collapsed down, but you can move it forward and back just like so. If you wanted to, you can angle this up, maybe have a walking pose or something like that. I mean, that looks really cool. But the guy is sturdy. That's one thing that I am really noticing on here, and the shoulders are very strong. I mean, like you could see as I was doing, I mean, this is solid. That ball joint is not going anywhere, and the way that everything kind of locks in here, it's really quite impressive. Gives it a very sturdy feel to him, and I really like it. The only part that I might want to change is right down here. I kind of wish that these could actually slide in, giving a flush kind of look. As it is, they kind of stick out here on the side. I mean, they collapse in a little bit. I mean, they were like that, and then you collapse them in. I do kind of wish you could collapse them a little bit more forward in and kind of sit flush here with this back tread section. I do wish that there was a way to do that. That's probably my biggest gripe. It doesn't hurt anything really. I just think aesthetically it would look a little bit better. But I mean, that's just, I guess, a nitpick mostly on my part. Now, setting him off to the side and bringing in some guys for some size comparisons. And here we have him next to Cubex Huff, as well as MP Bumblebee. And again, I really do think that this scale works pretty good. I mean, you can see a definite slanting here and a progressive smaller scale resulting, but I think for a tank, overall he works pretty good. But you can really see that he is a fairly substantially large figure here in robot mode. And here you have him next to the Masterpiece Sideswipe as well as Bad Cube's Brawny. And again, scale-wise, I do think it's pretty good. Probably not 100% accurate, but considering what they had to work with, this works pretty well. And then here you have him next to the big guy himself, MP10 Optimus Prime. And this works for me. There's no question that it's not 100% accurate. But I think generally, they really did nail the size for this guy. And all in all, I think he fits fairly well with Masterpiece figures. And I absolutely know that I would get flack if I did not do this comparison. Here you have him next to the Generations version, and obviously, as you can see, there is a big size difference. The other thing that people have commented on is that the barrel here does not collapse. Now, it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, obviously his collapsed and it's a little bit stubby, but I think that it works pretty good. When you compare that this is a smaller figure, if his chest cannon stuck out that much, it would look a little strange. When you exponentially increase the size of this figure, I think that you should also increase the size of the barrel. So overall, I don't think it really looks all that bad. I mean, if it could collapse, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Maybe just collapsing up to this point. Like if this section here collapsed in, leaving this bit right here, that would probably be the perfect size. But all in all, I still don't think it really is all that terrible, but it is noticeable, there's no question. But honestly, I almost like having a Warpath with this super gigantic, ridiculous chest cannon. But now we come to possibly the most difficult part, and that is transforming him back into tank mode. First, come around here to the back section. We're going to detach this, loosen this up, kind of just extend this out, get that out of the way and kind of flop that down. Then we're going to detach these shoulder bits, kind of just pull that away, fold that towards the back, just like that. This whole section right here, we're going to accordion this out and separate that, just like so. Doing this on the same piece right here. It's got it underneath there. There we go. Bring that out all the way, just like so. Take the head, detach this, and fold this all the way back, and then rotate that section down and around like so. You can bring these sections together, and everything slots together on the side very nicely, as long as you line everything up properly. There we go. And then get that pushed in there. And I'm missing, there we go, come on, there we go, slot that in there, and look, we got the turret kind of done, which that's the easy part. Everything else kind of gets complicated from here on out. So we're going to take this, we're going to rotate this out so that you can see basically what's going on here. Again, this section here can be complicated, but just go very slow. The instructions are actually really very helpful. Just take your time when you're actually doing it. take this section here, we're going to come around here, slide this back so that you can loosen this section. And I'm trying to get this around where you're going to be able to see what I'm kind of doing, but you might not be able to see it all that well. So we're going to take this black section. This has to lift to come off of that actual little pin that's underneath there. Then you accordion this down. Once you get that loosened up, take this, slide this bit back, then fold this up and under like so. Then the whole section will collapse right back down. Then you want to slide this over like that, and now you have that shoulder section basically done. Come around here to this side as well. Get this out of the way. So again, we're going to shift this over, kind of shimmy this loose, wiggle, there we go, pull that down, fold this section back, and then tuck this underneath there, collapse that down, get that all the way down, and then slide that forward just like that. Pretty easy, right? Yeah. This section here, you collapse this up. This can actually be tough, and a lot of times I don't actually get this collapsed all the way down. So bring this in and then push this all the way down. It doesn't ever get lined up like properly for me. It's one side can, and I'm not actually sure if that's the side that can or not. So let me try this one here. Where's the, no, that's his leg. What am I? I'm not even grabbing the right part. So there's that. There's the arm. Holy cow. I just got confused with all the parts. Extend that out. Bring this up. Collapse this. There we go. Lining up properly. And then collapse that all the way down. It's, like I said, it's really stiff they're getting, but you kind of get it as best as you can. It really should be flush here, but I for the life of me, I cannot get it to, well, that one kind of shifted down, but see how flush that is? It's supposed to be like that on both sides. I really, this side here, I cannot get. I haven't been able to since I've gotten this, so I really just kind of leave it like that, to be totally honest. It's not that bad leaving it like that, but we're going to rotate this whole section around, and this piece you want to slide this all the way out, and then this rotates around and then is going to go up underneath here. That's where you need it to be. So kind of pull that out, and then this rotates right up along there. That's how that's going to be situated. Do that on this side as well. Make sure you extend this section, slide that all the way out so that you can rotate this whole section around till you bring this over just like that. And that's how you're going to want this whole section to be actually positioned. Kind of collapse the hand in there, and then we're just going to angle these back. They're going to pretty much collapse together and lock in and everything. So getting that like so, bringing this around this section right here, keep these out. Going to rotate this around, and then you bring this down just like so, and then you can actually see little slots right here. These are going to tab in right there. And then this section here, keeping that extended out, going to lift this. That will unlatch this whole section. Fold this down, fold this, so that's going to be straight like that. Kind of bring that up like so. Keep that there. These are going to then slot in. So you bring these around, rotate that around. This whole section slides in along this track, lining everything up, and then that will actually tab together, and you're going to then rotate. Oh, no, don't rotate that there. Keep that down. There we go. Yeah, no. There we go. Keep it like that. All right. So now you have it like that. You're going to bring this whole section up like so. This, lift that out. This you're going to tab in along the side like that. Do that here as well. Make sure you get this whole section. Oh, I'm sorry. Make sure that you fold that out. That's what was clustering everything up. Fold this out like that. And you rotate this around that section. and just like that. So these little tabs or sections are actually going to be kind of pointing downward. That's how you want that to be lined up. So then bring that in, keep all that lined up. This tabs in along the side, that tabs along the side. This section here, you can sort of separate that and wedge this in, kind of pushing that together. Lift that, there we go. Kind of keep it like that. Now you basically have the back section returned. Then come around here, kind of extend these all the way out. This whole section kind of gets a little clustery as well. I'm going to rotate that around. This section detaches, and then you have to slide this bit out, and this can be a little bit stiff, so let's put that there, pull that out, there we go. Bring that, you're going to straighten that out, rotate this whole section around and over the leg, bring that down, bring that section in like so. This bit right here, you got the hand, you're going to bring this over, slot that down just like so, kind of just angle all this up. I'm sorry, make sure you lift this section up as well. So bringing that in, straightening this, tab this piece right there, get that in, lift this up and over, tab that down along the side, and that's gonna kind of flop right there as well. Do this section here that got a little bit twisted. Actually, I might have to straighten that out. So bring that down. We're going to separate this a little and then accordion this whole section out, keeping that in, rotating this around. This section here detaches, fold that out. This little bit right here, make sure that you lift these up. I did that on the other side real quick, so I wasn't sure if you actually saw that or not, so I do apologize. Make sure you get that kind of lined up. This section slots in. This piece right here, I should have done that a little bit easier. So bring this over. This comes down, and the hand actually holds that section. Make sure you collapse this in and tab that in along this crotch piece right here. Kind of angle this, and then basically you're just kind of fiddling with everything to get everything tabbing together, and then just push that down like so. Keep this out of the way. This section right here, make sure that you get this slotted properly. Angle that, there we go, and then you tab that in along there as well. This one, did I slot that in there? No, I did not. So you want to angle this out. This section right here tabs in right up along there. Almost done, guys, almost done. Doing good. Get that lined up there. Fold this out, fold this out, and then you collapse these down. Oh, I'm sorry. Fold these bits out. They just slide out. Kind of extend that like that. Bring this half in, and you collapse this all the way down, and then lock that in right there. This whole section will then tab together just like so. Come around here, do that on this side as well. Collapse this down. Get this tabbed in on a bit of an angle. As you can see, it kind of sits upward a little. You got a little slant right here, and then it kind of goes straight like that. And then you bring these sections in, collapse those, bring this down, make sure that's all like that. These little pieces come up, and they will slot in right in here, right in the very front. If you line it up properly, there's one. Bring this in, kind of tab that in. Two, kind of squeeze everything. This whole section then collapses and locks down into place just like so. Kind of angle that up. Then we bring in the bottom skid plate, pull this down. This, if you had it like that, just go like that. You can take the gun, and you got two little circles right here that have little tabs. You can put that there. Again, weapon storage. Then come around here to the bottom, you got this little tab that sticks out that this section right here is going to hook on. So just kind of put that there, put that down, kind of spread everything a little bit, wedge it down, make sure it's, there we go, like that on one side, that on one side, and then once you get that all the way collapsed up, this right here will collapse on the little pegs, and there you have Wardog finally back in his tank mode. Now, there is no question that this is probably the most ambitious project that Bad Cube has done to date. The level of engineering that is in this is really quite impressive. Tank mode, I think they did a great job of capturing that kind of cartoon look for Warpath himself. The color's really nice. The various homages, such as having the gray bit right here, all really nicely come together. And robot mode, I actually like their little explanation that there is no magical formula or magical spell that can make the mass that this tank has kind of disappear to create a lean robot. I like that, because it's really very true. And honestly, I like this character being bulky and buff. It just really works for me. And if you like complex, challenging transformations, this guy is definitely going to suit you. As I said, it's probably their most ambitious and heavily engineered piece to date, but going back and forth really is very satisfying. I think the end result, regardless if you're going to tank mode or robot mode, really gets there from pretty impressive engineering, I would say. And I'd also really like to give kudos to Bad Cube for continuing to improve on their quality. Unfortunately, they kind of got a bad rap with their first figure, Huff, but since then they've really made amends by giving us really solid figures like Brawny and Backlund, and now also with Wardog. This guy is fun and challenging, and honestly, I couldn't recommend him enough to you guys. So all that being said, if you're interested in picking this guy up, he will be available at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can pick this up and add him to your collection. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optimus. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my website at OptimusReviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and also get your very own Optimus t-shirt. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, don't forget to please like and comment, and be sure to subscribe so all of my new videos automatically are sent to your email. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.